Sound of Freedom, as you may know, is based on an incredible true story about a federal agent who quits his job to embark on a mission to rescue a group of kids from human traffickers in Colombia. It's heartbreaking and inspiring at the same time. And if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you do that this weekend. And when you do watch it, you'll realize how despicable and evil the mainstream media is for trying to write this film off as a QAnon conspiracy theory. Yes, they're doing that. Take a look.
And you have a lot of people who are in this world of QAnon who say, oh, they don't know what that is. They've never heard of it. They're just asking questions. With somebody like Jim Caviezel, he is openly embracing it. He's openly using its catchphrases and its concepts. He's speaking at QAnon conventions. And this film is being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or to people who believe all of the same tenets as QAnon, but claim they don't know what it is.
And The Sound of Freedom does focus on a real issue of sex trafficking. But that theme, it's sort of like that kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory. Tell us how those two things work together.
Sure. And the most durable and the most believable conspiracy theories are not entirely false. There's something in them that is true and the rest of it is false. But the believers point to the one true thing and they say, oh, you don't believe that this particular thing is true. In terms of child trafficking, we know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. But these films are created out of moral panics. They're created out of bogus statistics. They're created out of fear. And with something like Sound of Freedom, it specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by the high-level elites and only people like Tim Ballard and only people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, only people like the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. So there's a very participatory element.
Unbelievable. They sure seem very adamant in defending human traffickers and pedophiles, don't they? Eric Scheiner joins me now to answer that question, director at MRC-TV. Eric, thanks for being back with us. It's great to have you. What do you make of the media's response to The Sound of Freedom? I mean, shouldn't a film that highlights this critical and very real issue garner a positive response from everyone on all ends of the political spectrum? I mean, how could anyone find fault with a movie that fights for what's right and exposes evil?
Well, exactly. And that's why the response is just downright laughable. I mean, if you watch that last piece, well, this movie is trying to appeal to, people that believe in QAnon. I don't think the movie is going that specific. I think they're trying to appeal to a broad general audience. And if you're looking at the ticket numbers, guess what? The box office tells us that it's working. And even at worst, even if it's, oh, well, the audience gets to feel like they're fighting against, child predators and child sex trafficking. How is that a bad thing? Like, if they feel like they're fighting against it, well, good.
Yes.
Even if you take the worst of the theories they espouse, or somehow, they believe that people are drinking the blood of children. Okay, can I be against that too? Even if I don't believe it? Can I go see the movie and say, I don't like sex trafficking, and oh yeah, if you want to drink the blood of kids, yeah, I'm against that too. That should be okay. Why are these negative things? The media is insane. It's become a complete joke. I was looking at some Rolling Stone headlines when they were reviewing Cuties, that French film that sexualized little girl. Here's a couple of headlines. Cuties, a coming-of-age movie caught in the culture wars. Oh, how it's unfortunate because it's a sensitive portrait of growing pains. It deserves to be seen. How Cuties is fueling the far-right's obsession with pedophilia. Oh, yes, that's the problem. So, they'll defend these movies that sexualize young children. And then here's the Rolling Stone headline for Sound of Freedom. It's a superhero movie for dads with brain worms.
What?
That's their headline. It's a QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer. So they'll defend sexualizing children. Those things are okay. I mean, let's not forget, all of Hollywood stood up and applauded when Roman Polanski won an Oscar, despite the fact that, he's charged with drugging and raping a 13-year-old. I mean, those are the things that that's why he can't come back into the country. He's set to be arrested. They'll stand up and applaud him, but they'll condemn a movie like this that goes after child traffickers, even if they take it to the worst possible scenario. It's still defendable.
Yeah.
How do you defend child sex traffickers? The movie itself goes after them. That's a very good position to have.
You would think, but everything is just completely backwards in this insane world we're living in.